The car's tires screeched against the pavement as Naomi Carter gripped the steering wheel, her fingers trembling. Her heart pounded so loudly it drowned out the blaring horns of frustrated drivers around her. "God, please, let my baby be okay," she whispered under her breath, tears welling up in her eyes. The phone call from her 11-year-old daughter, Ava, had shattered her world in an instant.
"Mom. Jaden is locked in your room. I didn't mean to, but the door, it shut behind me." At first, Naomi froze, gripping her phone so tightly her knuckles turned white. Then, she ran out of the hospital like a madwoman, ignoring the confused stares from nurses and patients alike. Jaden, her wild, mischievous 3-year-old son, was locked in a room alone. And the door was jammed. Every second mattered. Just that morning, everything had seemed fine. Naomi had woken up early, kissed her husband Malik, a 32-year-old construction engineer, as he headed off to work, and got the kids ready for school. She had an important medical appointment that day, but it was routine. She had done this before, left Ava in charge, with 6-year-old Liam helping. It wasn't the first time they were alone for a few hours. The house was safe, the neighborhood quiet, and the teenage neighbor, Caleb, always kept an eye out. "Stay together, don't open the door for strangers, and do not let Jaden into my room," Naomi had warned, wagging her finger. Ava rolled her eyes. "We know, Mom. We got this." She had no idea that one small mistake would turn into a nightmare. The drive home felt like an eternity. Naomi's hands were shaking as she called Malik. "Babe, Jaden is locked in the room. The door is jammed. I'm almost home." Malik, who was in the middle of a construction site, didn't even think twice. He drove his Benz in a hurry back with a white helmet on his head. "I'm on my way." By the time Naomi pulled into their driveway, her stomach was in knots. Ava and Liam stood at the door, pale-faced. The neighborhood was eerily quiet, the evening sun casting long shadows over their beige, 2-story house. The place that usually felt warm and safe now looked like a prison, trapping her baby inside. The modern-designed home had an open-concept living room, large glass windows that allowed sunlight to flood in, and sleek wooden floors. The kitchen smelled of leftover spaghetti they had microwaved earlier. The house should have felt cozy. But all Naomi could feel was pure fear. She rushed past her children and ran to her bedroom door, pressing her ear against it. Silence. Her breath caught in her throat. "Jaden? Baby? Can you hear me?" No answer. Naomi's fingers shook as she grabbed the doorknob and twisted. Nothing. She pushed, pulled, still nothing. Ava burst into tears. "Mom, I swear, I didn't mean to." Naomi turned sharply. "Not now, Ava." Her voice cracked with panic. She pulled out her phone, calling Malik and a locksmith at the same time. But her husband's voice came through first.
"Babe, I'm stuck in traffic. I'll be there soon."
Soon wasn't enough. A carpenter neighbor rushed over, toolbox in hand. He took one look at the doorknob and shook his head. "This is jammed bad. I'll have to unscrew it completely." Naomi's hands were clenched into fists as she tried to listen through the door. No cries. No noise. Just silence. Her legs gave out, and she dropped to her knees.
Was he breathing?
Finally, after 3 agonizing hours, the carpenter removed the last screw. The door creaked open. Naomi burst into the room. And then she stopped. Her 3-year-old son lay in his crib, awake, smiling.
He was singing, in his adorable babyish way. Naomi staggered back, tears flowing down her cheeks. How was he okay? The room was peaceful. The fan hummed softly. The curtains swayed in the light evening breeze. There was no sign of distress, no fear in Jaden's big brown eyes. And then, Naomi saw it. A golden glow around the crib. Faint, but real. Her breath hitched. Ava stepped inside, gasping softly. Liam clutched his sister's arm, and that's when Naomi saw it. A shadowy, yet luminous figure standing beside Jaden's crib. Tall, protective, peaceful. Her heart pounded as she whispered.
An angel?
As if hearing her thoughts, the golden light pulsed for a brief moment, then slowly faded. Jaden giggled, reaching out as if waving goodbye to something they couldn't see. A deep wave of calm washed over Naomi. She had prayed for this. Every night, she prayed for Jaden's safety, for protection over her family. And now, she had seen the answer. She fell to her knees, clutching Jaden and sobbing into his tiny shoulder. Jaden hugged her back, completely unaware of the miracle that had just unfolded. That night, Malik arrived home and found Naomi sitting in Jaden's room, watching over him as he slept. She freshened up and sat comfortably in a one-seater chair near Jaden's crib. As she settled in, she recounted everything to her husband, Malik. The golden glow, the figure, the peace. Malik pulled her close, kissing her forehead. You prayed for protection, and you got it. Naomi let out a shaky breath. Yeah, I did. And from that night forward, no matter how mischievous Jaden was, she never doubted for a second that he was being watched over. Moral of the story: life is unpredictable, and even the smallest mistakes can lead to moments of deep fear and uncertainty. But in those moments, faith, love, and resilience can guide us through. Naomi's desperate race against time was fueled by a mother's love. But in the end, she realized she was never alone in protecting her child. This story reminds us that while we do our best to shield our loved ones, some things are beyond our control. Sometimes, the answers to our prayers come in ways we least expect, through unseen protection, quiet miracles, and the unshakable bond of family. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, we truly appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, leave a comment, and share with your friends. Your support means the world to us. Stay tuned for more exciting stories.